Hey everyone, Brian here. I just wanted to come at you with a quick update on the video that I put out on Friday from our Guess Who Got Hacked and Breached this week series. The main part of that video talked about the Garmin hack, and I wanted to bring you an update as it's been a pretty popular video for us, and it's been a pretty popular topic for a lot of people out there. So without further ado, I want to get right into it and bring up my screen here and show you the latest on the hack. So Garmin, as of Monday morning, appears to be getting back on its feet, but the Russian hacker gang Evil Corp is said to be behind it. Now, how do we know this? There's a couple things going on with this particular hack that that are very indicative of what has the call markings of Evil Corp. There's a couple things going on here that are interesting in this case, though, that take it a little bit further. So if you don't know who Evil Corp is a well-funded hacking firm run out of Russia. It's run by this individual, Maxim Yakubets, who is said to be one of the untouchables in Russia. Now, the interesting problem here for Garmin is they if they pay the ransom, which is said to be around 10 million, they run the risk of potentially breaking U.S. sanctions against criminals in Russia. So it's not like the Garmin people can easily just say, oh, well, let's just pay the ransom to get back up and running. They could be potentially breaking U.S. law by doing so. And it makes this situation that they're in a little bit more complex than just paying the ransom and getting back to business. But Garmin did start on Monday morning to get back up into business. But the reality of it is that they're still facing this ransomware attack. Their communication systems have been disabled at Garmin. There's a lot of services with Garmin that have been disrupted through the weekend that people have not been able to use. It goes all the way from GPS exercise devices all the way up to commercial trucking tracking software. So the range and the impact of this attack has been widespread within the Garmin company. So there's a couple of things here with this particular Evil Corp. They've been around for a while. This is part of the cybercriminal, well-funded cybercriminal hacking groups that I talk about in many of my other videos. They've been around for a while. They developed the particular ransomware. They're behind the ransomware that was unleashed on Garmin, and that is the WastedLocker ransomware. So they're behind that, and they actually have. This isn't their first iteration of ransomware that they've put out. They've put out many others. They used to control the Dridex malware, which raked in about 100 million for them. So there is already a criminal complaint against Maxim, and he is wanted in the U.S. For what he does. While Garmin hasn't publicly confirmed the cause of the outage, it's been widely speculated based on information that they've sent to certain individuals, and it's pretty well known at this point what ransomware is behind this particular attack on Garmin. But however, we don't know what Garmin's incident response plan is. We don't know if they've hired a third-party company to come in and begin negotiating with these criminals to try to lower the ransom. We don't know what the efforts are of their disaster recovery plan. However, businesses, like I said in my prior video, can learn from this. You can learn that even the most well-funded and well-prepared companies, if not thought through properly, you could end up in the same predicament as Garmin, where you're unable to operate for days and days on end, and you're faced with this huge public relations nightmare, along with the fact that you need to pay a ransom to a bunch of criminals all the way on the other side of the globe. These are real threats to businesses. These are real threats to anyone's business that operates today. Your business could be hit at any time with ransomware. And as I said before, if you think that someone has you protected somewhere along the way, you're probably sorely mistaken. And if they're telling you this, they're lying to you. Nobody can protect you from this stuff. And anybody who says they can is not being honest with you, and or not being honest with themselves, quite frankly. There's always something to exploit. There's always something out there that somebody can use to get into a system. Whether it's been discovered, that's the easy ones. We can fix those. We can patch those. We can prevent them. But there's a ton of hackers out there that do a lot of research on a daily basis and discover these things. And while most of the technical people I know out there do responsibly disclose breaches, meaning they don't try to use them maliciously. Once they know about them, they take them to the manufacturer of the product or the developer, and they let them know what they found and give them an opportunity to correct it before it's known to the general public. However, there are criminals who find exploits to go after and don't disclose them the way that they should, and then they're able to get into systems and no one knows that these exploits exist. So that's kind of the small percentage world that we live in, where you will not be protected from that. Although it's a very small percentage of what's out there, it still does exist, and you should be aware that no one can protect you from everything. So where does that lead us? That leads us to where Garmin's at today. And Garmin is at a point where they need to put in an incident response plan in place. The incident response plan that they put in place will dictate what their company looks like in the future. Now, they're a publicly traded company, and I believe their earnings come, if not this week, next week. And I guarantee you on the earnings call, there's going to be tons of questions about what happened and what the future looks like for Garmin. And, through any event like this, there's going to be lessons learned for any company. Garmin's going to learn lessons. But here's the reality. If you take this seriously and you do an incident response plan, you put it in place, and then you test it. When you go through that testing process, you're going to learn where your gaps are. You're going to learn where you're not so good at. You're going to learn where you're weak. And you're going to work on, just like you'd work out with exercise, you're going to work on over time improving those things. You're not going to be perfect the first time. But if you haven't done an incident response plan, or you haven't tested your systems in the event that they're not usable and how you're going to operate, now's the time to start. Now's the time to start putting these plans and processes and tests in place so that your business knows what to look for and knows what to do, knows who to call, and knows exactly how they're going to handle any kind of a situation like a breach, a fire, a flood, anything that can happen to your business. You should be preparing for every single day, every single month, every single year that you're in business. And if you're not, you're doing your business, your customers, and your employees a huge disservice, because the fact that you aren't practicing these things is just letting everyone know that I don't care about this stuff. I'm just going to keep moving on like like this doesn't exist in the world, and really just not treat it like the threat that it is. Businesses, every single business in the United States right now, whether you're one person or you're 10,000 employees, you're in warfare with these cyber criminals. You are absolutely 100% going up against this guy and his whole entire company. And there's thousands of other people in other countries who are well funded either by private citizens or their own government to try to do harm to US businesses. And now is the time to start taking precautions and doing things that you need to do to protect your business. Because if it can happen to Garmin, if it can happen to Twitter, if it can happen to the biggest companies in the world, it can happen to you. And I'm here to tell you that all this stuff is preventable. There's ways to deal with these things, and there's plans to put in place so that your business can stay operational no matter what happens to it. Hope you take this seriously. I'm going to bring you more updates around the Garmin hack. I'm also going to update you guys a little bit later on the Twitter hack because some interesting information has come out about that. And look for our video on Fridays for who got hacked and breached this week. I'm Brian Horning with Xact IT Solutions. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, and please like this video if you liked it, and throw a comment in the comment section below if you have any questions or concerns about your business or anything related to hacking and cybersecurity.